Bridging the gap is about enabling talented young people to realize their aspirations to be scientists, engineers, architects, business people, to make a difference in the world. And it is about ensuring our ability to be able to offer them the education that they deserve.
The financial part of going to college is something you have to consider. When I received my financial aid package, the scholarships that I received made going to RPI a possibility, because without the financial aid that I received, the scholarships, I would not be here because it just wouldn't be financially possible.
Well, it was really kind of twofold. It just felt like it was something I should do, make a scholarship available for someone else, because I did not have a scholarships. They were not readily available. But I also focused it on women and engineering. I just hope to provide them with the kind of opportunities that they would like to have if they had the resources, and this extra money may be enough to make it possible for them to continue their education.
Well, for me, I wouldn't be here today if not for RPI and education and scholarship. I was the first one in my family to be able to go to college, and when I picked RPI, we went up there, we didn't have the funds to do it, so I did part of my education with scholarship. And throughout our lives, same thing with Mona, we've dedicated ourselves to trying to provide a capability for people that need to go to college and can get benefits from something like a scholarship.
We had a realization at one point 20 or so years ago how fortunate we were, and that we wanted to just give back. And over the years we've prioritized, and of course RPI has always been, on our top of our list.
If I hadn't received the Patroon Scholarship, it definitely would have been a lot harder on my family and me as well. It's a great thing to come out of college without any student loans holding you back. It's because of scholarships like the Patroon Scholarship that help people achieve their dreams, and that's something that thank you isn't enough words for.
One of the things that actually attracted us to each other was kind of this common value about helping others.
I learned early on that to whom much is given, much is expected. And I come from a family of 6, and I was the only one in my family to get a college education.
Remembering how difficult it was for each of us made us that much more determined to help other students who were in a similar situation to help finance their education.
Having a scholarship makes you realize why you're here, and it makes me fight a lot harder in school, be a better student, and really just focus more and know that I'm being sponsored to come here and that they're looking for me to do something great with the world.
It's very difficult in today's environment for universities to compete for top students. Without scholarships, deep scholarships, Rensselaer will not have an opportunity to get the best and brightest students, because schools are giving full scholarships to the students they want. So a robust and broad scholarship program is essential.
Rensselaer education is in high demand, and as a technological research university, we have the imperative of training and preparing high caliber graduates in the service of our nation and indeed the larger global community. There are many deserving students who seek that education and could benefit from that education. Not all of them come from a background of means. We cannot and should not deny them access to our education. And for that reason, I believe it is a moral imperative that we pursue as we seek to bridge this need gap.
But in order to bridge that gap, we ourselves must raise sufficient funds to help finance those scholarships. And that's part of the initiative to make sure that every student who has the qualifications to be at RPI and the desire to be at RPI can attend.
So as we look forward to the next generation of kids coming to Rensselaer, we need to look at how we can help bridge the gap and allow them to have a complete education that's now well-rounded.
And we alumni and friends of RPI, I think, should be really reaching in our pockets to do that. Because for what we have, if you stop to think about it, it comes from RPI.
I was not about to go to private college, but for scholarship aid. And Rensselaer made that available to me, and I've never forgotten it. And I think there are a number of us like that on the board, and obviously many more who are not, who want to do for the next generation what the prior generations did for us.
When I received the Love Scholarship, I was incredibly excited and touched that I had been able to receive it. The Love Scholarship has allowed me to feel a part of the Rensselaer community, to know that alumni are always there to assist, and it's allowed me to pursue other things that I had never considered. I had never thought that I would receive such a scholarship, and that gave me the confidence to pursue research and looking at these other activities that I'd never thought of before.
We wanted to give people that didn't have the opportunity or wouldn't have the opportunity to go the same kind of opportunity that I had, which was somebody in the past that obviously decided that contributing to school and then allowing scholarships to be given was important to them. I was the beneficiary, so now I'd like to be the person, because it's important to my wife and I to have somebody else benefit.
It definitely helped me in being able to afford the school. It put less of a burden on my parents and myself in terms of having to pay for college, so it made the decision to come to Rensselaer and a private institution a much easier decision.
It's incumbent upon those of us who can that we should help students who can't otherwise financially do it, but intellectually have everything in the box.
There's a range of students, some from wealthy families, some from, not at all wealthy families. And I think that having the scholarship programs allows us to have that student body which is diverse.
We both came from Connecticut. We live a couple towns apart, and we both went to the same community college. When we were at community college, we would work full-time jobs while going to school full-time.
When you have to worry about school and studying and getting all your good grades, at the same time you have to worry about money, it takes away from your studying, and it's just really hard.
Yeah, it starts to eat away at you. But once we got the scholarship, it was like we were rewarded for all the work that we did. And not only did it take a load off of it, it motivated us to work even harder.
I myself went to school on scholarships. I had 2, and that is how I got launched. Now it turns out my father worked 2 jobs to make up the difference, and I also worked when I was in school. But I would not have been able to go to MIT and to get the education I received without scholarship support.
During my sophomore year at Rensselaer, my dad lost his job, and we didn't know where the money was coming from because things were tight back then. So the GM scholarship allowed me to finish my education at Rensselaer. And it was very important because I learned the power of scholarships and what they mean to kids when they come and they don't have the resources, and how it affects their lives and how they can go on to be successful.
It's pretty hard to pay for college, especially because my brother's going to college too. The Moore Scholarship really helped me with trying to fund my education at Rensselaer, so it just makes it possible for my family to send me here, and without it being too difficult on them.
What we're looking to do is to create a permanent endowment to be able to offer financial aid to the young people we educate. And when we've calculated the gap, then that gap represents an endowment that is somewhere between $600 and $700 million. And so that is what we have our sights on in terms of the amount we really do need to have. And if we can do that, then we think we're set, and we have set Rensselaer on a course for its next century to be able to offer the education that we offer to the young people who wish to come here.
I was a scholarship student.
I was a scholarship student.
I was a scholarship recipient.
Because you give, I realize now that all my goals are in reach.
Because you give, I can continue my education at Rensselaer.
Because you give, I have the opportunity to change the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come take the scholarship plunge with me.